we cannot skip this session, which is much more important, being a RTI, right to information for everyone. Talking about the speaker, CA SK Sadhwani sir is a proprietor in SK Sadhwani and Company, and he cleared his CA and practicing, having an experience of more than 36 years in the field of taxation, audit or special audit, company law matters, financial and management consultancy. He has been appointed as shareholder director and elected as the chairman in Ahmedabad Stock Exchange Limited in the year 2009, and even a member of Financial Reporting Review Group, that is FRRG, in ICI Ahmedabad from 2008-9 to 2020-23, already holding more than 16 years, and have hold various posts in CA Association, IT Bar Association, and AGFTC. Sir was also president in Sindhi Professional Society and speaker at various professional forums on the topics of income tax, RTI, accountancy, and auditing, and even a visiting faculty at GNLU. The most important thing, friends, अगर हम अहमदाबाद में बात करें इसी फैकल्टी की आरटीआई के लिए, सर से अच्छी फैकल्टी नहीं हो सकती, एंड थैंक यू पुष्पा फॉर दैट. यस सर, नाउ द फ्लोर इज योर्स.
यस सर.
आपकी स्कूल है ना?
यस,
फिर से बुलाऊंगा अभी.
बहुत अच्छे से.
फिर से बुलाऊंगा मैं. फिर से बुलाऊंगा.
आइए.
यस सर. थैंक यू डियर. थैंक यू.
Good afternoon, friends. It's very difficult to keep you holding after that much long sessions, certainly long sessions. Respected Central Council member Shri Purushottam Khandelwal ji, my dear friend constituency member Shri Vikas Jain ji, branch office bearers Neeraj ji, Samir ji, and all my dear colleagues and new entrants in the profession. At the outset, I congratulate you all for entering into the CA noble profession and pious profession, which is respected all over the world for its knowledge and integrity. Friends, you are the future of the CA. There is a sea-wide scope in the professional practice. Lot of opportunities are awaiting you, and of course, opportunities are coupled with the challenges. This is the turning point, crucial phase of your life. You have to select particular line of professional practice out of sea-wide opportunities available to you. Of course, each and every line of activity in profession requires the planning as well as the different kind of skill sets. See, earlier faculties must have informed you what are the line of activities for available for the practice. Most traditional area is accountancy and auditing. In auditing also there are subsets: audit of the corporate entities, listed companies, tax audits, bank audits, audit of the LLPs, audit of NGOs nowadays requires the different kind of skill sets, audit of NBFC, concurrent and statutory audit of the banks, audit and investigation work, forensic audit also in the case of frauds. All the audit requires the different kind of skill sets and intricacies into the area of accounting in that respective fields. Again, there is vast scope for the income tax practice. Income tax practices law is one, but it's very complicated law, ever changing the law. There is area of the practice in compliance and consultation. Apart from that, there is area of practice in the CIT appeal. CIT appeal requires the different skill sets: how to appear before the CIT, how to furnish the evidence before the CIT. Thereafter, next appellate forum is tribunal. Tribunal is the final fact-finding authority. You need to develop different skill sets because that's the code that is coming under the Ministry of Law. For that, you need to develop the different kind of present skills than the CIT appeals. Again, High Court practice, you are chartered accountant, you can easily complete the LLB course. In the High Court, there is very vast potential for the tax practice, and chartered accountants can be more successful in the tax practice before the High Court than any other LLB advocate, because you are more equipped in the financial skills, accounting skills, and income tax practices integrated the accounting and financial skills. Therefore, you can be more successful in the High Court. Again, there is vast scope of practice in the transfer pricing and international taxation. That requires altogether different set of the experience. You need to have the knowledge of the arm's length price and benchmarking of the international transactions. Again, there is vast scope in the NRI consultations. Now we are living in the globalized world. Lot of communications is there. So many Indians are settled in the foreign countries. They are having assets in India, income in India, investment in India. Income tax law applies to them. They need your guidance. There is vast scope in the NRI consultation. Again, now there is GST. It's a great area of practice. You will find lot of practitioners for filing your returns. GSTR 13B annual return. But there are very few experts who are able to handle the proceedings. Nowadays, they have started scrutiny of the returns under section 61. They are issuing the show cause notice under section 73 and 74. Very few people, very few professionals are equipped to deal with these proceedings. They do not have knowledge of the procedure to deal with such type of proceedings. Because most of the consultants who were engaged in the VAT or cell tax practice, they were doing the practice by practical means. Now you have to be legal expert. You have to file these submissions in accordance with the law. Again, there is lot of scope for the High Court practice in the GST litigation. There is lot of litigation taking place in the GST area. It is difficult to find the expert consultant in the GST practice. You would not get good consultants for tackling the litigation. So there is also vast scope. Again, there is area of the practice in custom, FEMA. FEMA, you won't find any consultants. Chartered accountants better equipped to deal with the. Generally, everybody is learning income tax and auditing and tax audit in the practice in Article 2. Therefore, you do not know what is the scope in other areas in indirect taxes, FEMA, ETC and NRI taxations. Again, there is a lot of scope in project financing, management consultation, IBC, insolvency, there is immense scope in IBC. Black Money Act, there is vast scope. In short, you cannot imagine what is the scope and potential of the chartered accountant. Forget the traditional areas. Apart from the traditional areas, there is vast scope. You cannot think of that. Every area of practice is coupled with the challenges because you are expected. You are supposed to do the work properly in accordance with the ethics expected from the professional, coupled with proper knowledge and procedures. See, when you are doing the assurance and attest functions, you are also subject to the peer review by the Institute of Chartered Accountants. You may be called upon by any of the investigation agency when there is a scam or fraud. NAFRA is there. NAFRA is regulatory authority. They can call you. So you have to be very perfect in your documentation. You have to prepare the checklist of the compliance with the accounting standards, auditing standards. So you are subject to the review by the institute as well as the regulatory authorities. Keep proper documentation. Don't rush in hasty way. Client बोलेगा ये जल्दी करना है, आज ही करना है, मुझे फटाफट ये देना है. Don't rush. Take proper appointment letter. Issue the proper engagement letter. Take proper working papers. Don't rely upon the oral statements. Keep your file perfect. Otherwise, sometimes you will feel very much regretful. Even in the income tax and GST practice, the basis on which you are filing the computation or uploading the returns of the client, you need to have the basis for uploading these returns. You may be called upon by the income tax authorities. There is provision in the income tax law which very few of us are aware. You may be called upon by the income tax department to show the working papers based on which you have filed this computation from your PC. I am not talking of the tax audit. I am talking of the return. That is also subject to the verification by the department. Practically, they are not aware, they are not calling, but remember that is your accountability. See, another challenge is, as earlier faculty told, You have to keep pace with the changing time. Otherwise, you will get stale and obsolete. You will just do the bread and butter practice of thappa. You have to regularly update your knowledge. When I qualified as a chartered accountant in 1986, if you see that study material, that is totally obsolete and stale. Nothing is relevant now in present times. You see the study material of 80s. कुछ भी आज वैलिड नहीं है, सब बकवास है, एक्सेप्ट डेबिट और क्रेडिट के प्रिंसिपल्स. इतना टाइम बदल गया है, तो वी हैव टू कीप पेस विद द चेंजिंग टाइम्स. 35 इयर्स पहले परशोत्तम में इनको सबको पता होगा, कोई अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स नहीं होते थे. 4 और 5 अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स थे, वो भी वॉलंटरी थे, मैंडेटरी नहीं थे. कोई इंडेक्स नहीं था, कंपनी के अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स रूल्स नहीं थे. इनकम टैक्स में कंप्यूटेशन और डिस्क्लोजर के कोई स्टैंडर्ड्स नहीं थे. इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थी. हम फेसेट मशीन पे टोटल करते थे, बाद में कैलकुलेटर आया. टाइपराइटर पे टाइप करते थे कुछ भी. कंप्यूटर सुना ही नहीं था, नाम ही नहीं था. कंप्यूटर आएगा, उस पे अकाउंटिंग होगी, किसी ने कभी कल्पना भी नहीं करी थी कि कंप्यूटर पे अकाउंटिंग है. अभी सब कंप्यूटर पे कितना काम हो रहा है आप देख रहे हो. तो पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस में से आप एक्स्ट्रापोलेट कर सकते हो फ्यूचर कैसा होगा आपको. तो किस तरह से यू हैव टू कीप ऑन अपडेटिंग द चेंजिंग टाइम्स. अभी रिसेंटली इनकम टैक्स में फेसलेस असेसमेंट हो गया है 20 से. फेसलेस असेसमेंट के प्रोसीजर बदल रहे हैं. पहले ईमेल बेस्ड कम्युनिकेशन डिपार्टमेंट ने स्टार्ट किया, ई असेसमेंट हुआ, ई असेसमेंट के बाद में फेसलेस असेसमेंट हुआ, अभी फेसलेस अपील हुआ है. किसी को सबमिशन प्रॉपर देना नहीं आता है अभी, क्योंकि वी वर यूज्ड टू द प्रैक्टिकलिटीज. प्रैक्टिकल आईटीओ के सामने जाते थे, 2-4 क्वेश्चन पूछे, जवाब दे दिया, असेसमेंट हो गया. पूरा बदल गया है अभी. ड्रास्टिक चेंज है लैंडस्केप में प्रैक्टिस के. तो you need to be really professional experts. You need to know how to draft the submission. For drafting, you need to update your knowledge. You need to update your communication skills, and coupled with the knowledge of jurisprudence, particularly when you are dealing in the litigation practice, appellate litigation, ITAT litigation, or you are maturing, developing the case for going to the high court. You need to be expert on the knowledge of the constitution also. Without having the knowledge of basic principles, foundational principles, unalterable principles of the Constitution of India, which cannot be altered by the parliament also, you cannot do the litigation practice. So you need to learn the fundamental jurisprudence. See, since liberalization 1991, Indian economy is completely integrated. So you have to integrate with the world knowledge also. So continuously you have to keep on updating knowledge. I would suggest to all my friends, if you want to go in the litigation practice, first of all you should read the foundational principles of the Constitution. I will suggest you one book, 10 landmark judgments that changed the India, written by the G.R. Modi. That is very important. Apart from that, I think RTI Act is not coming in the syllabus of the Chartered Accountancy. I would request you, Honorable Central knowledge of law is incomplete without the study of the RTI Act. RTI Act is a special act. It overrides all other central acts, all other central and state acts. Whenever there is conflict of provision between the RTI Act and other law, provisions of the RTI Act would prevail. Even provisions of RTI Act would prevail over the Official Secrecy Act. So Act is very small, but without knowledge of RTI Act, your practice will be incomplete. That is inextricable part of your practice as a CA also. I will show you what is the significance of the RTI Act. See, after the independence, we were having the system of governance which was provided by the Britishers as per the colonial rule. Their object was lacking the accountability to protect the British regime. Their rule was just meant to promote the imperialism. They were protecting their right. There was lack of accountability and transparency in this system. India, when became the sovereign republic, Constitution is the supreme political document. Even as I told you, Parliament cannot alter the basic structure of the Constitution, which is tinkering with the fundamental rights. Article 19 of the Constitution of India provides all the citizens fundamental right of freedom of expression. Fundamental right of freedom of expression is incomplete without you are having adequate information. Without having the proper information about the functioning of the government, you cannot have complete freedom of speech and expression. Further, transparency and accountability is the foundation of good governance, good economic growth and development of any economy. See, RTI Act was formed in 2005. We had no any strong legislation providing for the passing of information to the citizens, which was of the vital importance. This lacuna was taken over by the corrupt elements. This resulted in the various schemes and resulting in the draining out of the precious government resources. See, government is collecting lakhs of crores of taxes from you every month. There should be some monitoring whether that is being spent for the welfare schemes or funds are being drained out by the corrupt authorities. Vast resources are there, vast natural resources are there. Therefore, citizens should be informed. There must be transparency and accountability in the functioning of the government to extract the venom of corruption prevailing in the government systems. UPA one government, when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, came up with the Anti-Venom Act, Right to Information Act, which was framed by the Parliament and it received the assent of the then President of India, Dr. APJ Kalam. He signed the bill on the 15th June 2005. Thereafter, RTI Act became immediately operative. RTI is the new age Brahmastra in the hands of the citizens of the country. With the help of the RTI application, simple application, you can dig out the information not only from the government department or public sector undertaking, but also, remember, also from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, from the Raj Bhavan, from the Office of the Chief Justice of India, from Office of the Chief Justice of the High Court, from the Office of the Supreme Court, Prime Minister, from Office of the Chief Minister also. RTI has brought about complete revolution and it has been helpful in unearthing so many corruptions and showing the poor decision making in the government departments and that of corruption prevailing in the government department. Rahul Gandhi during the 2014 election campaign, he clearly in one of the interviews accepted that because we provided the RTI Act, schemes like 2G, Colgate, Commonwealth Games, they came out. By use of the RTI, through use of RTI, these schemes were unearthed. Our Honorable Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, they used to file the RTI. Our Union Finance Minister, who was the Mr. जो गोवा का चीफ मिनिस्टर था, he used to file RTI when he was leader of opposition in the Manohar Parrikar. He used to file the RTI when he was leader of opposition in the. I will give you details of that subsequently, but first of all, I will clear the overview of the RTI Act and important definitions which we should learn in the RTI Act. See, Revenue Department and Urban Department are receiving the maximum number of RTIs in the Gujarat, Maharashtra and Karnataka because there is lot of corruption in these departments. Yeah. It is a very small act. RTI is a very small act. You can complete within few days. Just having the 31 sections, 2 schedules and 6 chapters. I will give you overall view, broad structure, various important sections of the RTI in this session. See, one of the important provision is there, RTI is special act overriding all other laws. All other laws. If there is conflict, provisions of RTI Act would prevail. There is bar on the jurisdiction of the court. The office of the CIC chief equivalent to the Chief Justice of India and Election Commissioner of India. Chief Commissioner is appointed by the Collegium of the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, and other Union Cabinet Minister nominated by the Prime Minister on that Collegium. They are selecting the Chief Election Commissioner. So he is constitutional authority. Decision of the CIC cannot be challenged in the court of law unless the decision is perverse. There are certain exceptions. Okay? So now I would go to the basic provisions of the RTI Act. Okay? As I told you, it's the very prized tool to stem the gut of corruption that is eating vital resources of the country before reaching the bottom. Benefits are not reaching to the bottom. Funds are eaten away by the corrupt elements in the government. It is framed to promote the fundamental right of the freedom of speech. Supreme Court in one of the cases of the Dinesh Trivedi MP and Union of India in 1997 held that in order to ensure the continued participation of the people in the democratic process, they must be kept informed of the vital decisions taken by the government and the basis thereof. Democracy therefore expects the openness, and openness is concomitant of the free society, means coupled with the free society, that is must for the free society. Why there was need for the special law like RTI Act? Why need was felt to frame the Right to Information Act? Before the RTI Act, there were so many roadblocks in accessing the information from the department. You would see none of the law other than the RTI Act fastens the accountability on any of the public servants. Only RTI Act which fastens the responsibility, personal obligation of the public sector. So there used to be so many roadblocks before framing of the RTI Act in the getting the information from the government. Several steps need to take place. Law like the Official Secret Act was the roadblock in accessing the information. Provisions of the Civil Servant Code of Conduct Rule 1968 restrict the right to information. Culture of secrecy prevailing in the government department, lack of accountability in public offices, badly maintained records. There is no accountability to maintain the records prevalent. Their records may be destroyed. Lack of public awareness about getting the information and time. All these were roadblocks. Now RTI is overriding all these roadblocks. You can access the information through RTI easily in a time-bound manner. See, preamble of the RTI Act describes the objective of RTI Act. It is to provide the practical, this is the preamble, I am reading to the preamble of the RTI Act. The objective of RTI Act is to provide the practical regime of right to the information for the citizen to secure the access to information under the control of the public authorities in order to promote the transparency and accountability in the working of every public authority. The revelation of information in actual practice is likely to conflict with the other public interest, including efficient operation of the government and the confidentiality of sensitive information, but it is necessary to harmonize these conflicting interests looking to the paramountcy of the democracy. The purpose of RTI Act to equip the citizens to secure the information freely from the government. There may be burden on the government machinery. They may be burdened with the work of providing. They may consume the resources. RTI, there may be flow of RTI. They will consume the resources of the government machinery. But balance has to be there. Considering the paramountcy of the democracy, RTI Act is visualized and it tries to balance these. See, first important definition is right to information. There is definition of term right to information. What is your right to information? Means right to access the information held or under the control of any public authority, and includes right to inspection of work, document records, to take notes, extracts or certified copies of the documents or records, to take certified samples of the materials, to obtain information in form of printouts, diskette, floppies, tapes, videos, cassettes, or in any other electronic mode, or through printouts. This is inclusive definition, very vast definition of information. You are right to seek the information from the public authority. See, only Indian citizens can seek the information from the public authorities. The NRI holding the Indian passport, not foreign passport, can seek the information from the public authority. Legal entities like company, LLP, partnership firm cannot seek the information under the RTI because they are not citizens. CIC in one of the decisions held that the association of persons, president or office bearer of the association of persons being representative of the group of individual citizens can seek the information. Means AOP can seek the information. See, you can seek the information under the RTI by filing simple application. There is no need to give any reasons. Why do you want information? Authority cannot tell you, please tell me the reason, what is the purpose of seeking information. Simply, this is your order that I want the information, and they are bound to provide it within 30 days. You need not to give any reasons for this purpose, I want the information. Simply write a letter. I will give you the suggested format also, without providing any reasons. Now I will read the definition of information given in the section 2 of the RTI Act. We earlier studied the definition of right to information. Now this is the definition of information. Definition of the word information means any material in any form, including records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, advices, press releases, circulars, orders, logbook, contracts, reports, papers, samples, models, data material held in any electronic form, and information relating to the private body which can be accessed by the public authority under the any law for the time being in force. Suppose you are subject to the control and supervision by any government department. You are private institution, not public authority. And another government department has right to seek information from you. Then citizen can file application to that department. That department will direct to the private body to provide information to the applicant. Means even from the private institution which are subject to certain controls by the government department, and they have right to seek information in relation to your private institution, you are also bound by the RTI Act. In today's newspaper, there is one important such type of news. One person used to extort the money from the school. Now school is private institution until it is funded by the government. That gentleman used to file RTI application to the Department of Education relating the permissions given by that department to run the schools. And department used to forward RTI application to the schools, kindly provide this information to the application, and that gentleman used to misuse the information and blackmail the trustees of the school. Today's newspaper. He extorted so many. But we should not misuse the RTI, but that is the power of RTI Act. Again, there is a definition of record. What is the significance of record in practical sense? I will tell you by the one instance. Record includes any document, manuscript, file, any microfilm, microfiche, any facsimile, copy of document, any reproduction of image or image embodied in such microfilm, whether enlarged or not, and any other material produced by computer or any other modes. So, information, record, both are having inclusive definition. Suppose if I apply the definition of record to the file of income tax. File with the ITO is having in the case of SSC. So what is the content of that information you can seek under the RTI, but of course that is personal information that is not subject to the RTI by anybody, but SSC can claim that record from the ITO. So what could be the record in possession of you can seek as an SSC in your case? Copy of your return, scrutiny notice, if he has conducted any inquiry in your case, inquiry letter, replies received by him from that third party in your case. If he receives the information under 148 for reopening, set up that information. Thereafter, he would record the satisfaction to reopen the case, copy of that satisfaction. Thereafter, he will seek the approval of the Commissioner of Income Tax to issue the notice, copy of his approval, copy of his approval. Thereafter, he will seek information, replies from you, copies of all these replies. He will prepare the note sheet, order sheet, sequence of information, copy of order sheet. All these are forming part of the record under the RTI that you can seek, and that can be very useful in case of litigation when he makes heavy addition to your case. That information can be useful to you in the appellate proceeding, depending the case of your client. Now, one important definition. What is the public authority? There is the word public authority from which you can seek the information under the RTI. Definition of public authority is very, very wide. Public authority means any authority or body or institution of self-government established or constituted by or under the Constitution, by any other law made by the Parliament, by any other law made by the state legislator, by notification issued or order made by the appropriate government, government organization, substantially financed directly or indirectly by funds provided by the appropriate government. So this is the definition of the public authorities which are bound by the RTI. There are lot of obligations cast under these public authorities under the RTI Act. Very important obligations. It shall be their constant endeavor, continuous, not one time, constant endeavor to take steps in accordance with the requirement of law to provide as much information suo motu, out of own, without being demanded by any, but suo motu on continuous basis to the public at regular intervals through various means of communication, including internet, so that public has minimum resort to use this act to obtain the information. Suo motu, voluntarily they have to keep on giving information to the public by various means, circulars, advertisement, electronic media, websites also. Supreme Court in one of the judgments in the case of Ministry of Information Broadcast versus Cricket Association of Bengal, a 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court held that the freedom of speech and expression includes right to acquire and disseminate it. Disseminate means, Supreme Court said, disseminating means making known or communicating to the public through notice, boards, newspapers, public announcements, media, broadcast, the internet, or any other means, including inspection of office of the public authority. So right to information include the right to do inspection. You can go to the department and any public authority and file the application, I want to inspect this file. You need to apply in advance. He will give you time and proper time and appointment. At that time, you can see the physical inspection of the file. In one of the cases, one of the advocates filed the application last month before the revenue authorities. He wanted to see the documents relating to land. He came with the simple application as well as the RTI application. Okay, I want to see the file of this industry's land which was allotted by you in the so and so year. He has provided the details. So this is the RTI application and this is the simple application. Please don't give me RTI. मेरे साथ चलो रिकॉर्ड रूम में, जो भी आपको चाहिए मैं दे दूंगा, लेकिन RTI मत देना, क्योंकि RTI में उसकी ऑब्लिगेशन क्या है मैं बताता हूँ. See, RTI में उसकी obligation है, he has to keep all the records duly catalogued and indexed. उसको जो भी आपको इंफॉर्मेशन देनी है, एक एक पे पेज नंबर लगाना है, सही से करके ऑथेंटिकेट करना है. ऐसे कोई भी पन्ना फाड़ देवे बीच में बोले मैंने नहीं दिया तो नहीं चलेगा. It has to be authenticated, evidence duly indexed and catalogued. That is the obligation of the authority. Otherwise, person will be personally accountable to that. See, one of the important provisions of the RTI Act is to make the proactive disclosures. Section 4A provides that all the public authorities after the implementation of the RTI Act within 120 days, means since 15 June 2005, within 120 days all were obliged to make proactive disclosures about their organization. All the departments. I would advise you, whenever you are doing any department, whether GST or income tax, ROC, visit his website, click the RTI tab. Practically hardly anyone is clicking the RTI tab. It is generally not open. It will be hidden under the About Us or Home, but that is mandatory for any authority. Click the tab of RTI, there will be pool of information. That is part of mandatory disclosures under section 4(1)(a) by the RTI Act. What are these mandatory disclosures? They are bound to give compulsorily. These are very important disclosures, I will tell you. They are supposed to give the particulars of their organizations, their functions and duties, powers and duties of their officers and employees, procedure to be followed by them in decision-making process, and channel of supervision and accountability, rules, regulations, instructions, manual, records used by its employees for discharging their duties, directory of their officers and employees. If you go to the income tax website, you will find the functions of the CBDT members. CBDT में कौन member है, उनके एक के functions क्या हैं वो भी बताया होगा, उनकी pay scales कितना है वो भी बताया होगा, commissioners का भी बताया होगा. पूरे इंडिया लेवल की एक स्टेट की आपको डायरेक्टरी मिलेगी. पूरा इंडिया में टेरिटोरियल जुरिस्डिक्शन किसका कहाँ है सबको मिलेगा, लेकिन हार्डली कोई देखता है, ठीक है ना. And particulars of facilities available to the citizens by that department for conducting the RTI information. Name and designation of public information officers. I will tell you what is the definition of public information officers. Who is entrusted with the job of providing information to the applicants under the RTI. उनकी complete नाम और एड्रेस, किससे कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन लेने की है, हर एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव यूनिट में पूरी डायरेक्टरी नाम होगा अंदर, इंक्लूडिंग ऑफिस ऑफ द चीफ कमिश्नर में कौन है, सीबीडीटी में कौन है, आईटीओ के ऑफिस में कौन है. सो आई विल टेल यू व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर गिवन इन द आरटीआई एक्ट. द आरटीआई लॉ प्रोवाइड्स दैट एवरी पब्लिक अथॉरिटी की डेफिनेशन हमने देख ली, शैल डेजिग्नेट पीआईओ, Public Information Officer, to provide information to the persons requesting for information under this Act in all its administrative units. All ऐसे नहीं कि पूरे डिपार्टमेंट का एक ही हो, सभी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव जो डिपार्टमेंट है उसमें हर एक यूनिट में पीआईओ देना है. Various duties are cast on the PIO for dealing with the request for obtaining the information. इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट में जो एओ है वही पीआईओ है. सीआईटी अपील में उसका जो एसक्यू होगा वो पीआईओ होगा. जो प्रिंसिपल सीआईटी है उसके हेडक्वार्टर का आईटी होता है वो पीआईओ होता है. तो ये सब पीआईओ है, उनसे आप एप्लीकेशन करके इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हो. और पीआईओ की बहुत बड़ी हैवी ड्यूटीज है. उसकी जो ड्यूटी है सेक्शन 5(3) में, to render the reasonable assistance to the person seeking the information, उसको पूरा सहकार देना है। अगर आप जाओ कि मैं अनपढ़ आदमी हूँ, मेरे को लिखना पढ़ना नहीं आता है, आप मेरी इंफॉर्मेशन लिखो, मैं आपको ओरली बताता हूँ, तो he is bound to write that application on your behalf. He has to extend all the reasonable assistance. उसको कोई इंफॉर्मेशन देने में कोई हर्डल नहीं डालना है, डिस्करेज नहीं करना नहीं है कि आपको क्यों चाहिए, ऐसा क्यों करते हो। He is answerable to the information commission directly. If any of the PO denies or creates hurdle in getting the information not copied, you can directly file a complaint to the CIC. CIC has very much wide powers against him. He can spoil his service record, he can fine him per day basis, and his service record in future may be spoiled if CIC passes inspector on that PIO. Means he is not answerable to you as an ITO, but he is answerable to you under RTI Act as an PIO, and his boss is CIC. So they are very much afraid. In case you file the application before the PIO, it is not pertaining to his administrative unit. Then he is duty bound to transfer that application within 5 days to the concerned PIO under intimation queue. He will definitely intimate you if this application is transferred to the another PIO. Copy will be marked to you mandatorily as per the law. He has to provide the information in the time-bound manner, 30 days. If he doesn't provide you information within 30 days after receipt of the information, he will be treated as officer in default. He will be deemed, there is presumption in the law, he will be deemed to be guilty of not providing the information. When complaint is filed against him, he has to prove that he was innocent. Why didn't he provide the information? So that is the seriousness of the RTI Act as far as PIO is concerned. Again, you can seek the information in the format desired by you. You can provide him format. कि इस format में मुझे information चाहिए. He is bound to give the information the pro forma given by you, unless it is consuming the resources of the public authority disproportionately. It should be reasonable. It should not seek the disproportionate information. The information commissioner is authorized to recommend disciplinary action against the PIO under the service rules applicable to him for violation of law against the erring PIO if he has not provided the information to you without reasonable cause. See why we are using the RTI in the income tax proceedings, because income tax law does not provide any accountability on the part of the AO. Government has given the citizen charter, which just gives the timelines for giving the refunds, giving replies to your grievance, but that is not mandatory. Citizen charter does not serve any purpose because there is no accountability on the part of the AO. It has not yielded any results. See, if you file the grievance petition before the principal CCIT, CCA, even CP Gram, sometimes you are not getting the response for it. Use the RTI, file the RTI, you will 101% receive the response within 30 days. Otherwise, he will be held personally accountable. That is the difference. Now, how to file the RTI application? There is no prescribed format. See, RTI is central law. It is applicable across the India. But states are empowered to frame the rules. Only frame the rules. So in the case of RTI, before the state authority, there is prescribed form number A, Namuno ka. But that is also very simple. In central law, there is no format of filing the application. Simply, it should contain the basic particulars It can be a simple letter addressed to the CPIO giving your name and address, wherein you state that I am citizen of India. I request you provide me this information, and because there is voluminous information in possession of the department, you have to provide the period also and subject matter of the information you need. Simply you can deliver the application at their counter or send it by the speed post, and there is mechanism for filing the application on the portal of the Ministry of Personnel, rti-online.gov in. That is the nodal department. You can file the RTI online. That RTI online portal will forward your application to the concerned department through nodal officer of that department. You can receive the information through email, but that is in case of the central government department. In state government department, you have to file the application physically. There is simple application fee of ₹10 only in case of before the CPIO. In case of state PIO, it's ₹20. Application fee can be deposited in cash over the counter. It can be debited through pay order. In case of online, through other electronic modes also, through banker's check. In case of state government, through postal stamps, as well as through the court stamps also. It's very easy. See, certain information is exempt from disclosure under the RTI Act. Information which cannot be disclosed. Section 8 provides for the exempt information. So I will read for your benefit. The disclosure of which would prejudicially affect the sovereignty and integrity and security, strategic, scientific and economic interest of the state. The information which has been expressly forbidden to be published by the court or any tribunal. But for that, there has to be express order of that court, express order of the court or tribunal that this particular information is not subject to the disclosure. The information disclosure of which would cause the breach of privilege of the parliament or state legislator. Suppose on any issue debate is going on in the parliament or state legislature, that information is not subject to disclosure. But after when bill is passed, discussion is over, that would be subject to the disclosure. During the ongoing discussion session of the parliament and state legislature, any information relating to that would not be provided to you, because that is the first privilege of the parliament or legislature. The information held in commercial confidence, trade secret or intellectual property, or the information received from the foreign government in confidence. The Indian government received the information in confidence from the German government regarding the holding of the Swiss bank accounts by the Indians. That was received in confidence by the Indian government. That was provided to the Supreme Court in one of the matters relating to the Swiss bank accounts, but that was not subjected to the public disclosure. Any information disclosure of which would endanger the life and physical safety of any person would not be provided to the citizen. Any information which would impede the process of investigation or apprehension or prosecution of the offender would not be provided to the citizens, because that may be misused and that investigation process may receive the roadblocks. Therefore, till the completion of investment, that will not be subject to the disclosures. Cabinet papers, including reports of deliberations of the Council of Ministers, secretaries, other officers, provided that the decision of Council of Ministers, the reasons thereof and material on the basis of decisions were taken, can be provided after the debate is over and Cabinet has taken the decisions. Then that information can be subject to the disclosure. during the discussions that will not be subject to the disclosures. Any information relating to the personal information, the disclosure of which has no relationship with the public activity. You cannot seek the personal information relating to any other person like ID returns, etc. unless there is allegation of corruption. There are certain exceptions provided in this. There is one biggest exception. Provided there is one proviso to section 8 which gives the details about the exempt information, which proviso says provided that information which cannot be denied to the parliament or state legislator shall not be denied to any person under this clause. Means your right is equivalent to the right of parliamentarian and the legislator. If any information which cannot be denied to parliament or that cannot be denied to you. And in other situations, when there is allegation of corruption against any authority or any person, and public interest outweighs that personal interest, protected interest of that person, then that information would be subject to the disclosure. There is clear provision in section 8(2). When the public interest outweighs, there are allegation of corruption against particular person, then its personal information will be subject to the disclosures. See, certain institutions, names of which are given in the schedule to the RTI Act, just like RAW, CBI, IB, Investigation Department of the Income Tax, these are not subject to the RTI. But when there is allegation of corruption, then that is also subject to the disclosure under the RTI. That is the power of RTI. I will read the observation of the Supreme Court in one of the cases, emphasizing the significance of the RTI Act. See, in Rafale deal, in acquisition of 36 Rafale deals from the France, certain advocates filed the petition before the Supreme Court, allegations of the overpriced deal and counter of say deal provided to Anil Dhirubhai Ambani case. The arguments were based on the certain secret records stolen from the Ministry of Defense and published in the Hindu newspaper. These were provided to the Supreme Court as an evidence. The Attorney General, then Attorney General Mr. Venu Gopal, contended before the Supreme Court that based on the stolen documents from the classified government records published in the Hindu newspaper, where national security was at the stake, and the leaked document from the government amounted to the offence under the Official Secret Act, these cannot be accepted as evidence by the Supreme Court. What was the reply of the Supreme Court Justice to Mr. Venu Gopal? Honorable Justice Joseph made Mr. Venu Gopal please read out the section 22 of the RTI Act, which declared to have an overriding effect over Official Secret Act, then section 24, which mandates that every security and intelligence organization, here it is allegation of corruption, even security and intelligence organizations subject to the disclosure of information on the corruption and human rights violations. Finally, he invited his attention to the section 8(2), which compels the government to disclose the information if public interest in disclosure outweighs the harm and protected interest. Okay? So, Justice Joseph told him that Parliament has passed the RTI Act 2005 and brought back about the complete revolution, complete change. Let us not go back on that promise. These were the observation of the Justice Joseph before the Venu Gopalan. See, Reserve Bank of India was not disclosing the list of defaulters in RTI application. Matter ultimately reached the Supreme Court. the bench of Justice L. Nageshwar Rao and M.R. Shah directed RBI to withdraw its present disclosure policy under which this information of defaulters is not disclosed to the public under the RTI. This court put up RBI for not complying with its order, means Supreme Court's earlier order, by which it was directing to reveal the information under the transparency law. These are the observations of the Supreme Court. See, Mr. Manohar Parrikar was the leader of opposition in the Goa Assembly in 2005, who happened to be our Union Defence Minister and subsequently Chief Minister of the Goa also. In 2007, he filed the application under RTI before the Governor. Dr. S.S. Sidhu was the Governor at that time. The Raj Bhavan claimed the immunity that we cannot give information as Governor's house is not the public authority. Ultimately, matter reached to the Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court ruled that Governor's office is public authority. Matter went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court also held that the office of the Governor is public authority. It is within the purview of RTI. And during the proceedings, at one stage, Goa Information Commission had also dared to summon the then Governor S.S. Sidhu for claiming immunity from the RTI. So that is the power of the RTI. Now, before I will conclude, I will give you one news also. See, political parties, 6 national political parties which are controlling the organs of the state. In 2014, CIC held that all the, at that time, 6 major political parties, BJP, CPI, CPIM, NCP and BCP, and that these are substantially funded by the government, therefore they are held to be public authority, and it was the unanimous decision of the CIC. They observed that it would be odd to argue that transparency is good for the state organs, but not so good for the political parties, which in reality control the vital organs of the state. So Supreme Court has also affirmed that view, but practically political parties are neither amending the law nor they are contesting, they are sitting quietly. All the political parties have ganged up to not to make the disclosures as per the RTI. They are not that is applicable at present. Okay. So I will not take your much time. Lunch is waiting for you. Before I conclude, I will give you a few concluding remarks. You need to be professionals with the conscious and moral compass and empathy, and not just with the professional degree in your hand. You have to keep on continuously with the changing times and update your knowledge, and always have a moral compass. Do the practice not as a machine but with the conscious. Thank you for giving me the patient hearing. I thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. Dear.
Sir, we are extremely thankful for sharing with us the most powerful tool, that is RTI, and we have practically seen you using it on many occasions. And every time the client and the chartered accountants have been immensely benefited because of this. This is a serious thing which we can learn and will actually help us to earn, I would say. Friends, welcome you all to this ocean of opportunities. There is the practice that you have come into, and believe me, the initial time may be tough. That is okay. That is with everybody. We also face the same kind of things. Shastri kabhi bahut like that of. So we are there almost now for 20 years. I have been into practice. Sir, I have been there for almost 40 years now. The only thing is, now because of the complexities that are involved in the profession, individually it is very tough to do the practice. Sooner or later you will have to join hands with your friends, your other whatever. So you need to be in the group of 4, 5, 6 CAs minimum. And again, at the same time, if we are 3 partners and each of us is doing, say for example, all the things, it will not help. So all the partners must be having different specialization. That will actually help you to grow. And the routine practice doesn't actually yield much good results for all of us. So we need to also think of the different things. So at the same time, what happens, if in a firm, there are 5 partners, if 2 partners are doing with the routine course, and because of that you are able to run your office, but let the space be given to the other 2, 3 partners to do other things, and that will really help you on. Whenever you need any guidance, we all are always available. Feel free to reach us, and we'll be more than happy to share with you our experience which we have acquired over a period of time. Thank you and wish you all the best in the profession. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.